Well, eventually it was a disappointing afternoon for Bristol City at the King Power, coming away with no points, but a defensive display to be encouraged about and generally looking a very solid side. Here is how things transpired. In Leicester City 1, Bristol City 0. Well, there's one change from the Plymouth game, and it was an enforced one. Zach Varner dropped out with injury at the end of the Plymouth game, which he sustained there in midweek, and it was Rob Dickie, the summer signing, who came in and filled in at right centre-back, and he played alongside Cal Naismith. Max O'Leary was in goal, with George Tanner retaining his place at right-back, Cam Pring at left-back. In the midfield three, it was the usual Jason Knight, Joe Williams, Matty James. Up top, it was Mark Sykes, Naki Wells up top, and Sam Bell off the left. It was a star-studded Leicester City 11 who started off the game at the King Power. Mads Hermansen, who joined the club for nearly £5 million, was in goal. Callum Doyle, who's on loan from Manchester City, which I think just about tells you how good he is. Yannick Vestergaard, Wout Thijs, who played as a two centre-backs. Ricardo Pereira played at right-back, but he basically played in midfield. He was really inverted and really caused problems for Bristol City. Wilfred Ndidi, Harry Winks and Keenan Dewsbury Hall played in midfield, and that quality there is just ridiculous and way too good for this division. On the left, it was Steffi Mavadidi. On the right, it was Abdul Isaku, and he caused Bristol City campering lots of problems down their right-hand side and our left-hand side, and it was Jamie Vardy, who we all know, up top. Obviously, it's a bit of a scary thing to look at that Leicester 11 and look at it compared to ours, but for the first 30 minutes, we were really resilient and really, really good defensively. Positionally, we were really good. Joe Williams was really kind of anchoring things and organising things in midfield. Cal Naismith was really good at centre-back. Rob Dickie looked a bit suspect, and he allowed Leicester one opening which could have been fatal, but eventually didn't lead to a goal. But George Tanner was really good at right-back. Nigel Pearson said after the game it was one of his best games, if not his best game, at Bristol City. Campering was, he was caught a few times by Abdul Isaku. He was really good, Isaku, down that right-hand side for Leicester and caused Bristol City all sorts of problems. However, it has to be said, Bristol City looked largely resilient and Leicester didn't really create many opportunities for that first 30-35 minutes. And then for that last 5 or 10 minutes in that first half, Bristol City actually did try and get forward and did try and really cause Leicester some problems. And being off, on the back foot for 30-35 minutes, it's never easy to then go and springboard and really try and take the game to the opposition. But I thought we did that quite well. Sam Bell had a few chances. Cal Naismith had a free kick. There were chances and there were set pieces which we could have possibly used a little bit better. But again, never really looked like we were going to score. But we did keep Leicester at bay. And for that first half, we looked fairly good and good value for that 0-0, which was the score into half-time. At half-time, James Justin comes on for Callum Doyle, who had a bit of a knee problem, so he came off. And James Justin coming on, I think, just shows the quality not only in the starting 11, but on the bench as well. And that just happens with parachute payments, with the amount of time they've spent in the Premier League. Was always inevitable they'd keep some really, really top players, and they don't even get into the starting 11 on a weekly basis. He looked really good at left back. He provided a bit more of an attacking impetus down that left-hand side, which eventually, a little bit did more George Tanner down. However, Leicester, start of the second half, really good. Really, really attacking. And it was a very clear message from Enzo Maresca in that half-time team talk. Just attack Bristol City, move the ball a little bit quicker. And that's exactly what happened. We tried to step out. We tried to obviously try and take the game to Leicester and build off that momentum, which was then last bits of the first half. But Leicester just moved the ball around us and looked at a real threat. Max was forced into a few good saves. He did manage to keep them out, and eventually the pressure just wore us down. It was a really poor challenge from Cal Naismith, probably his only real mistake, and that's what happens with these really, really top sides. You make a mistake, even a little one, and you're punished. Wilfred Ndidi, who was absolutely brilliant all game for Leicester, he dances into the penalty area. Cal Naismith leaves a foot out. It's not a good challenge at all by Naismith, who, as I said, was really, really good for the majority of the game. Just that one little mistake, and he's punished for it, and it's a penalty. And Jamie Vardy's on the pitch, and he's going to score 9 out of 10 times. You could have put prime Leviashin in goal, and he still wouldn't have saved it. It was a really, really top penalty from Jamie Vardy, right in the top right corner in front of those Leicester fans. He obviously then goes and taunts the away fans at the King Power and really takes the mickey. But it was well deserved, in my opinion. Leicester were far the better side for that opening 20-25 minutes, and they deservedly took the lead. And then once you go 1-0 down to a team with Leicester's quality and also the way they play football in terms of just keeping the ball, being very patient with it, it's always going to be a mountain to climb. And that is just the case with any possession-based side, really. They're just going to wear you down. They're just going to suck you in. Just going to keep the ball and knock it around you and eventually score another one. Leicester did not score another one, but they looked far more threat than we did, and that really should have accounted to another goal. But Bristol City, again, stayed resilient, stayed in the game, but just could not take their chances. And yeah, Andy Vyman had a massive chance. Ephraim Yeboah, when he came on, looked a real threat. But it's just that quality in those final moments, which comes off against, Plymouth and maybe even against West Brom and, teams like that. Again, no disrespect, but teams with literally anyone but Leicester probably comes off against, just did not come off against Leicester. I thought once again when Harry Cornick and Ephraim Yeboah came on, they both looked a threat. They both looked lively. They both looked, real, just live-wise in that Leicester backline. But once again, just not being able to get on the ball for large periods of time and then have the quality and have the composure and getting it through and getting it into midfield and out wide, just wasn't there. Leicester closed down all the spaces. Harry Winks was brilliant. Kindred Hall was really good. This did not allow us to play us through, and just they set little traps. Again, Bush just could not work them out, and yeah, that's the quality. There's a quality difference there, and that's what happens when you have teams with large parachute payments and also large squads who are always going to, do that and have the quality and the depth to just wear you down. I don't think you can be too disappointed from a Bristol City perspective. We were really resolute defensively, and I thought Dickey and Naismith on the whole game and the whole basis of the game were really good. And George Tanner, as I said, had probably one of his better games in a Bristol City shirt in a long time. Again, he also showed he just showed a lot more better qualities going forward, which is a real positive as well. And I thought our midfield was pretty good. Jason Knight was having an off game, but Matty James again did his normal Matty James thing. Ball circulation was really good. But it was just that quality different, and that is always going to happen, and that's kind of inevitable, really. It's unfortunate, but we've got to move on, and we've got, better and possibly more winnable games coming up. Stoke, maybe Rotherham, but then we've also got Leeds away soon. So, look, it's not going to be a walkover most games. There are going to be games like Leicester away, Leeds away, maybe even Southampton soon, where you're going to go in and go, it's going to be a tall ask to get something, but we showed qualities where we could go away to some teams. Maybe a bit more luck goes our way. Maybe some of the top teams play a different way. That could suit us a little bit more. Maybe that's the case, but just yesterday it just didn't fall for us in those key moments. Look, it is what it is. The quality difference was there for everyone to see. Just did not fall our way. Unfortunately, Leicester are a very, very good side. We're also a very good side. We stay in the top half. We stay, I think, 8th. So, look, we're still, really, really strong start to the season. Only 2 defeats in 8 as well. So, really strong start and really, hopefully, something to build on come the next batch of fixtures. Next up is Stoke at home, and Stoke have just been battered 3-1 off Hull. So, hopefully, that's a far more winnable game than Leicester away or Leeds away. Let's hope that is another 3 points for Bristol City and Ashton Gate. Thank you very much for watching this match review. It did end Leicester City 1, Bristol City 0 after a Jamie Vardy penalty in the second half. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if you've watched the game. If you have enjoyed this, hit like. If you haven't already, subscribe to HM Stalk for more Bristol City content in the future. Well, thank you very much for watching. Keep safe and I'll catch you all later. Cheers.